The Fionavar Tapestry is a trilogy of fantasy novels by Guy Gavriel Kay, first published in 1984 to 1986. The novels are partly set in our own contemporary world, but mostly in the fictional world of Fionavar. It is the story of 5 University of Toronto senior law and medical students, who are drawn into the first world of the tapestry by the mage Loren Silvercloak. Once there, each discovers his or her own role and destiny in the framework of an epic conflict. The books are illustrated by Martin Springett. Characters: the 5, drawn by magic from our world and thus strangers to Fionavar. Each of them finds a new role and a new destiny during their adventures in Fionavar. Kevin Lane, witty, bright, outgoing, fair of hair and of spirit. The act of love has a strangely deep and intense effect on him. Paul Schaefer, highly intelligent, withdrawn, haunted by the death of his girlfriend in a car accident that he believes was his fault. Dave Martin, big, a star basketball player. He carries emotional scars from his Eastern European immigrant father's rough treatment of him as a child and has difficulty accepting or offering friendship. Kimberly Ford, brunette, quiet, intelligent and sensitive, but with the strength to make difficult choices and do what must be done. Jennifer Lowell, blonde, green-eyed, beautiful but cool and reserved. Former lover of Kevin's, still good friends. The deities: Rakoth Maugrim, the Unraveler; Sathane, the Hooded One, renegade god, the enemy of the Weaver and of all that is good. Jealous of the Weaver's creation, he broke into Fionavar just as the Weaver had completed his work, bringing fear, pain, distress, and great evil. Since he came from outside the loom, has no thread on the Weaver's loom, and so cannot be destroyed. 1,000 years ago the combined might of all the races of Fionavar came against him, and, after a final tremendous battle, they defeated him and chained him beneath the mountain Ronget. His escape sets in motion the events of the trilogy. Gallatin, Lord of the Andain, a shape-changer who can take the shape of a malevolent black wolf with a silver splash on its head. He works with Maugrim but for his own openly nihilistic ends. Ford, Ether of Rook, Ice Queen of the Barrens in the far north, her touch freezes men to the bone. Mornier, Lord of the Summer Tree, the patron god of the royal house of the High Kingdom. His role seems to be a sky god who is connected with oak trees, somewhat like Zeus in classical mythology. Darian, son of Jennifer and Rakoth Maugrim. Darian is precisely balanced between dark and light, and his choice turns out to be the most difficult of all. He is able to take the form of a white owl. Other characters: Eldar is the High King of Brennan. He has 2 sons, the elder of whom, Aileron, is in exile. The younger, Diarmid, although a fearless and elegant fighter, is also frivolous, impulsive, and shallow. Diarmid falls in love with and is eventually betrothed to Shara, also known as the Dark Rose of Cathal. Her father is Shalasan, whose title is Supreme Lord of Cathal. Historically, the Council of the Mages, headquartered in Brennan, may include up to 7 mages, but at the time of the story there are only 3. Loren Silvercloak, and his source Matsorin, a dwarf, Metron, first mage, and his source Denbaratanen, and his source Barik. Each source is bound to the mage he serves by magical rituals and oaths, and provides from his own life force the energy needed to power the mage's magical works. This link can be drawn upon even to the source's death, although this will then render the mage permanently powerless. The Book of Nilsum includes secret knowledge of an abominable method by which a mage may gain power from more than one source. Other important Brennan folk include Asanj, the seer of Brennan; Jael, high priestess of Dana at the temple in Brennan; Vae, Shahar, and the son Finn, Mabon, Duke of Roden, who saves Dave from being killed by Avair, the carnivorous black swan, and Layla, a 15-year-old who calls Finn to the longest road via a game called the Takiana, and succeeds Jaila's high priestess. The Daleray, plains-dwelling tribes of nomadic hunters who both hunt and guard the vast herds of Elta in the northern part of Fionavar. Each tribe has led its own chieftain, helped by the tribe's shaman who was richly blinded in youth the better to focus the sight of his inner eye. Of particular interest to the story is the third tribe, under the leadership of Ivor Dan Banner and the shaman, Geraint. Ivor's wife Leith, and the children Lavon, Tabor and Cordelian also play important parts. The Leos Alpha Elite Elves live in Daniloth, a beautiful land in the northwest corner of the land which they have of necessity wrapped in a confusing mist as protection from Maugrim and others who wish them evil. Notable Leos Alpha of the past include Lathan Mistweaver, who wove the sheltering mist, and Ra-Termain, killed by Maugrim the Baal Rongat. Present-day Light Elves include Brendel, a lord of his people, and Rateniel, their king. The Leos Alpha are Maugrim's bitterest foes, most hated by the Dark, for the name is Light. The dwarves dwell in the mountains near the twin peaks of Bania Loch and Bania Tal. Fierce fighters, they have recently been led into questionable acts by Cain and Blood. The men of Eridu, a proud and independent race, have been wiped out by a mysterious poisonous rain. The only remaining man is Faber, exiled by his father and thus not present when the deadly rain fell. The Para-Eco, the peaceful giants of the mountains. It was the ancient Para-Eco who long ago bound Owen in the wild hunt to obey Connor's horn. The Para-Eco refuse violence even in self-defense. In exchange, they are protected by the curse of the Para-Eco, drawn down on whoever sheds the blood. A main thread of the story is the replaying of the legends of King Arthur, Lancelot and Guinevere, all of whom appear in the story. Arthur is brought into Fionavar as the warrior by Kimberly. Lancelot is revived in Cadasedad in the second book, and Guinevere's life and memories awaken within Jennifer. The three reenact some of the well-known tale as expiation for the sins. Creatures Avair, a black swan with vicious teeth and an odor of corruption, servant of Maugrim. Kurdart, the eldest, a metamorphosing earth demon of rock and stone who dwells in and guards Pendrin Wood. Imwraith Nymphe, a red unicorn capable of flight, a gift of Dana for the war against Maugrim. Uarthach, an enhanced Urgach who, with Gallatin, directs Maugrim's forces in battle. Hundreds of Urgach, large powerful warriors of the dark. Thousands of Svartalfa, small, loathsome, dispensable dark creatures that eat men and elves. Themes. Kay's central concept in the novels is that Fionavar is the first of worlds, particularly in a mythological sense. The sagas and tales of other worlds originate in this most primary of settings. Because of this, what happens in Fionavar ripples into other worlds. Thus the victory or defeat of Rakoth Maugrim has not just immediate importance for Fionavar but also implications for our own world. The story emphasizes over and over the importance of free will, as demonstrated in Jennifer's decisions to keep Darian and later to send Lancelot away, Finn's choice to follow his destiny with Owen in the wild hunt, Paul and Kevin's acceptance of the role of sacrifice, Diarmid's decision to take the final battle with Uarthach on himself, enabling Arthur to survive the last battle, and of course the vital importance of Darian's ultimate choice of allegiance at the end. When the Baelrod demands that Kim call the dragon into the struggle, she refuses for moral reasons. Another important theme is that of forgiveness. Arthur has long since forgiven Guinevere and Lancelot. Paul must learn to forgive himself for his girlfriend Rachel's death. Gallatin at the end is forgiven his evil past and offered a second chance. Darian at the end understands his mother's treatment of him and forgives her, and more. One of the more prominent themes is that of power, and the price that one pays for it. Often in the book, the price for power lies with someone else, as witnessed by the sources to the mages, as well as Skim's own summoning power. The price is often paid by whatever or whomever was summoned. Books in the series. The 3 books are The Summer Tree, The Wandering Fire, The Darkest Road. Awards for the Fionavar Tapestry. The Wandering Fire won the 1987 Prix Aurora Award in the English category. The Wandering Fire won the 1987 Casper Award for Best Speculative Fiction. Kay was nominated for a Mythopoeic Fantasy Award for Adult Literature in 1985 for The Summer Tree.